Sing with emotion. And this is something that obviously if you're feeling the song and you really feel the emotion, it's going to come easy, but we want to be able to sing with emotion whether we're actually feeling it or not, whether we're having a good day, bad day, whatever kind of day or voice we kind of find in that day. And the key really is dynamics. So if you really listen to good singers, they know how to kind of carry their voice in a way that moves you through the song, and this comes naturally if you like are really feeling the song. But just stick with me for a minute. So, for example, there's a part in a song I was singing earlier, and that I posted on here in another video. That's like, and she sleeps in fear of another year that you keep a burn in your eyes. And have you noticed between those notes, it's almost like there's almost like a swaying like kind of vibe. And she sleeps in fear of another year that you keep. It's like I'm moving it between notes kind of in a smooth motion. And it doesn't necessarily always have to be smooth, like that's not the point of this video, but it sounds way better than if I was just like, cause she sleeps in fear of another year that you keep averting your eyes. And see how dry that sounds if I just hit, I mean, all the notes are there. They're on pitch, they're there, like, I'm definitely singing them, but there's no like attitude, there's no style, there's no emotion in it. And so it's really just learning to recognize how to use your voice in a way that portrays emotion. And even if you're not really feeling it, sometimes when you start doing this, you start feeling it again, because it's like, it just, we don't always, if you're angry, you're not going to talk the same way as if you were really feeling calm and just meditated, right? It's just not the same. So, and the difference is like how much you compress, how much energy you put into it, and different volumes, right? You're definitely gonna talk louder if you're angry, rather than like calm and like you just meditated near a river. It's about utilizing the volume as well as being able to kind of move the listener through the song. So, because if I did like another example would be like, even if I kind of moved it through the song, but I kept it the same volume. And she sleeps in fear of another year that you keep. It still doesn't sound as good as, cause she sleeps in fear of another year that you keep a bird in your eyes. You'll notice that I get quieter and I get louder and I get quieter and I get louder as I'm singing. Cause she sleeps in. It's almost like a small sound to a big sound there. Cause she sleeps in. Or I'm sorry, big sound to a small thing. Cause she sleeps in fear. So you can hear the volume difference there in the amount of power I'm putting into my voice, and you can also hear that kind of like it's almost feels like I'm like kind of swinging with my voice, but it's really just like it's connecting them smoothly. And then when you add these two things together, when you can get down the different volume changes, and then you can get down the way you really want to carry the listener through the song, and then you add that into singing all the notes on pitch properly, like that's where things start to get like really awesome and sound really good. Because I used to have, like, a lot of people have this problem too. We focus so much on hitting that note, singing that high note, getting it on pitch, like, gotta get my voice there. And yes, it is super important that we do that, and it's super important that we have a solid foundation for our voice. It's very important that we are singing on key, we're using proper support, and yada yada yada. But ultimately, like, the reason we do all those things is so we can add our own style into it and add our own emotion to it. And the way we do that is through dynamics. So a good example is like that one just popped in my head. A Mayday Parade song. I'd hate to be you, and I can't remember the rest of the song. But if you listen to like that song, and we both go down together, we'd stay there forever, just trying to get up. It's another example. It's not as prominent, but you can hear, and we both go. And it's like at the end of it, he releases it to portray that emotion. He releases that support and lets the breath through, so that you get that like that exhausted type, like sad type feel. So there's a lot you can do with it. If your singing is sounding dry and it's not really like, you're not really feeling it, you kind of feel like it's more like a mundane task, or people have said it sounds kind of robotic. This is probably the component that you're missing. It's dynamics. So remember, it's the difference between, this would be something at the same volume without any fancy transitions, or I guess it would be called like a legato kind of transition. I'm not the best with terminology. I just know I know what I'm listening for. But listen to the difference in this. 'Cause she sleeps in fear of another year that you keep a bird in your eyes. Versus, 'cause she sleeps in fear of another year that you keep a bird in your eyes. It's night and day. Like, so once you get the foundation, you get the proper support, and you can actually sing the notes in key, then the thing that is probably missing, if you still feel like you're not sounding good, is dynamics. And really listening for the song. This is a singer, he or her letting go, or they kind of starting, because sometimes you'll also hear like I can't think of any examples off the top of my head, but it'll start small and kind of build, like, hey, like, it's really hard to explain, but if you really listen for it, and some songs it is there. Like they might start lighter and get bigger, might bigger and get smaller, or let off the end, like that Mayday Parade song. Just trying to get up. Like, and you can also do things like add like a little cry, or like a little almost whine in between notes. That's like, let your voice flip stylistically. And let me think of a good example of a song I can do this with. I'd probably do it with The Dreamer by Out of the Mighty too. But no, here's a good one. Where the Mind Wants to Go by Out of the Mighty. I can do just being honest. I need time to think. And it's like, you can add like a cry at the end of it, or in the middle, depending on what sound you're going for. If you want it to, you said, let's take a week so we can figure out what we should be. I wonder. Oh, I was did it a little too hard the time. I wonder if you want him. Like, hear that flip? You can kind of, if you practice it, you can get that in a way where it's really stylish. I wonder if you want him. Like, singing perfectly all the time is going to sound very dry. If you can stylistically, like, kind of make things sound a little shaky, and then you bring it back in, if you can do it and it's controlled, it can sound really good. Whether it's that subtle cry or that emotional kind of flip, you can do so much with it. So again, it's not just about the notes and support and proper resonation. It's also about those tiny little tweaks here and there, and the volume, and whether it's like staccato or legato, kind of a or like yeah, like, it's, you can do so much, and you have to really focus on those tiny details to make yourself sound good.